All right, so this is going to be a quick video all about how to invite someone using Google Calendar, because you might want to invite a classmate to a certain time when you want to study. You might want to invite a teacher to an office hours or something where you need help. So basically I'm going to be showing you how to do that in Google Calendar, which is going to be very important this year. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you are going to want to sign into your Google account. So you can just go into your Chromebook. You should be signed in as soon as you go through the sign-in screen. And then you are going to want to go to calendar.google.com. And it brings you to your calendar page here. I kind of blew it up so you can see it a little bit easier. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is just show you how to do a calendar invite, essentially. And an important thing to note with all this is because we're going fully remote, you are going to want to be checking your email numerous times a day. You're going to want to sign up for the remind texts as well. That way communication is open as much as possible, just so nothing gets missed. And we can be as scheduled as much as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do here, though, for this video, it's mainly just how to use Google Calendar. Now, Google Calendar is tied to your Gmail account as well. So you are going to want to, again, check your email because any invitations are going to go through your Gmail there. You can check your Google Calendar, but it's really only going to show whatever month that's in front of you. You're better off checking your email and seeing if there's an invitation and clicking yes or no if you are planning on showing up to, whether it's a live lesson, whether it's an office hours, whether it's an individual help session, whatever it is. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to invite someone, including me or your friend or whoever else, a classmate, to a certain session so that you can work on whatever you need to work on for whatever class. Now, since our first day is right here, the 19th, what I'm going to do is in order to make a new event, you have to just click on whatever day it is, and it brings up this little pop-up screen right here. And it says add time, title and time. Now, this is really important because sometimes even teachers don't really write a good title for this, and it's a little confusing. So if you are going to do this title, and say it's for office hours, you're going to want to write office hours in there, and then just make sure you include your last name. Don't write last name, write whatever your last name is. Now, what this does is it helps whoever you're inviting. So when they see that event, they can just quickly see who this is office hours for. Okay, so if I was, let's just going to pick on Jensen. If I was inviting Jensen to this, I'm going to say office hours, Jensen, I want to meet with him for that. And you're going to notice me do this for you as well if I'm inviting you to one of these things. But again, I'm just trying to show you how you can invite me or somebody else. It is event. You don't need to worry about out of office or appointment slots or anything like that for this part of it anyway. And then for the next part, it says the date, which is the 19th, which is the date I clicked on here. And you can always change this by clicking on it, but we're not going to do that. I don't want it all day. I do want a time for this. And here, let me actually start over because it got rid of the time that I wanted. So I'm doing office hours and Jensen with the last name. Now back to this screen right here, I'm going to click add time. And I'm going to add whatever time I want. Now, since it's office hours, those usually tend to be quicker. So it's not like you're going to be reserving an hour and a half time for someone with an office hours. It's more for lessons, I would say. But try to stick to 15, 30 minutes for whatever office hours meeting you want. For this one, I'm going to say from 10 to 10:15. Does not repeat. You don't need to worry about that so much unless you want something that repeats office hours. Find a time. You can actually click this here, and it's going to pull up a calendar here, and you can kind of see where you're scheduled, where my schedule is here. It's pretty open, so I don't really need to worry about this pop-up screen right here. So I'm just going to basically ignore that. Here it says add guests, and I want to add Jensen. So I'm just going to type that in there, and then he's going to be invited here. So he's going to get that invitation through his email. This right here, show, I don't need to worry about that. Mark is optional. We don't really need to worry about that. Okay, then guest permissions, invite others, see the guest list. Sometimes you don't want this, you don't want other people to see the guest list because, I don't know, privacy matters or whatever. So you can always just turn that off. It is kind of good sometimes to have it where they have the ability to invite others. So I can invite Jensen, and then Jensen can invite other people off of this screen as well through his calendar. So sometimes I keep that marked, but it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, this part right here says add Google Meet video conferencing. So if you just click this, it's going to create a little link, and it'll be tied into this event that you make. So then you can just click the event and then click the link really quick, and then you'll quickly be added to that Google Meet. Also, what you can do is you can just go to meet.google.com, and it's going to show up automatically for that time. So you can just click and get into that Google Meet session very easily. As a student, I think that you can do the Google Meet. I'm not actually sure because I don't have a student account on this. But if it doesn't do this, you can still invite me with the office hours. I will get an email. I will see that you want to meet for office hours, and then I can just add the Google Meet just in case it doesn't actually happen. All right, so add rooms. That doesn't really matter so much because we're going to be doing this remotely. So you don't, but if you wanted to, you can click that and add a room or add a location as well. But again, we would do that remotely. You can add a description if you want, discussion on CS curriculum. I'm just making something up for what I would meet with Jensen for here. Add an attachment. You can add an attachment if you want, but you could also just, send that during the Google Meet as well. But if you want to send me or some other teacher some attachment that you want to discuss during the meeting, you can add it there. This stuff is not so much important. I always have it says here 15 minutes before as an email. So this is a notification. So I'm gonna get a reminder 15 minutes before. You can add more notifications if you want, 10 minutes before, just so you're not late. I pretty much live off Google Calendar, so I need these notifications because teachers are just busy. We have a lot of events and you don't want to miss anything. So these notifications do come in handy. This other stuff's not so important. You can change the color of it if you want. Again, not that important. And then from here, I can click save and it's going to send an email to Jensen. I should probably take him off this so he's not annoyed with an email. But if I kept that on there and hit save, it would send out that notification to him and then it would show up on his calendar. And then as the email notification that he's going to get, he can click yes or no for the RSVP of whether he's going to show up or not. And if he says no, then we can, I can email him and try to figure out another time as well. Or I can just set up another event with a different time and see if that works for him as well. Or even better, if he clicks no, he can reply and say, I can't make this time, but I can make this other time. And then he can make the invitation or you can do it as well. But again, the main steps are you just click whatever day you want. This thing pops up, write office hours or help session or whatever you want. Put your last name in there. Okay. Add a time. So whatever time you want, let's just say 10:15 to 10:30. You can always change this too. So it's 10:15 to 11. It doesn't matter. Add the guests. So whichever guests you want to add here, click the Google Meet session. So you want to add that there. It has the link already in there. And then you just basically hit save and you should be good to go. All right. So once your event is made, to be able to actually get into that Google Meet session for it, all you have to do is go to your calendar and then click on the event and then just click join with Google Meets. And then it opens up the screen right here. And then you just click join now and you're good to go and you're in it. So that's basically how to set up a calendar invite. If you have any questions about anything in this video, let me know.